Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare,
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Rama Rama,
Jaya Radha, Landanisha Radha, Landanisha Radhe. Jaya Radha, Gokulananda Radha, Gokulananda Radhe.
Jaya Radha Gokulananda Radha Gokulananda
Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada.
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada,
Jaya
Prabhupada,
Prabhupada, Srila
Hari
Prabhupada,
Bo,
Hari Bol,
Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Gora Hari Bo.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gora Hari Bol.
Nitai Gaur Premanande, Shri Harinam Sankirtan Yaki Kirai, Pada Kirai Samaveta Kirai.
Jai.
All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru Shri Gauranga. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So welcome back to our online meeting. And so since you seem to be pretty open to whatever, we can look into. My suggestion was that because we finished that part of the Bhagavatam which speaks about Govardhan Leela and interaction with Indra, and maybe today we could look into another scripture book by Narottam Das Thakur, which is called Sri Prema Bhakti Chandrika. So everyone likes the idea?
Yes, that's wonderful.
Hardly anyone knows what is Prema Bhakti Chandrika, right?
Haven't read it, so don't know.
Sorry?
I haven't read it, so I don't know.
Yes. But actually, we are singing one verse from Prema Bhakti Chandrika every day for Srila Prabhupada, and that should
Ramachandra Sangha.
But this is really amazing book, and so I suggest that we can dedicate tonight learning about Sri Prema Bhakti Chandrika by Narottam Das Thakur. Om Gyantimirandasya Ginanjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Bhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadam Mayam Danati Svapadantikam Panchakaptarulyascha Kripa Sindhubevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Utai Mahat Prema Prabhu Yermaya Kshayate Yaramasupurushavam Tevanan Sadasa Sadasatmakai Vankrishishtamanman Vacham Seme. So this scripture, Sri Prema Bhakti Chandrika, perhaps is the most important of all of Srila Narottam Das Thakur's works during his manifest pastimes on earth, which happened little over 400 years ago. Srila Narottam Das Thakur wrote many songs which contained very important instructions, and two most widely known and popular are Prarthana and Sri Prema Bhakti Chandrika. So Prema Bhakti Chandrika literally means the rays of the moonlight of loving devotional service to Lord Krishna. So, and it is known as Rupanuga Gita, which means that it contains the essence of the teachings of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So these rays of the moonlight of Prema Bhakti are so soothing that they can cool down the effects of the burning fire of material existence, and they enable the conditioned souls to drink the nectar of loving devotional service of Sri Radha Krishna. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is glorified by Srila Swarup Damodara Goswami, who says, Anarpita charim chirat karunaya vatirna kalau Samarpayitam utnato jvalarasam svabhakti shriyam hari purata sundara dyuti kadamba sanjivita sada hridaya kandhare puratava sachinandana. May that Lord, who is known as the son of Srimati Sachi Devi, be transcendently situated in the innermost chambers of your heart. Resplendent with the radiance of molten gold, he has appeared in the age of Kali by his causeless mercy to bestow what no other incarnation has ever offered before, the most sublime and radiant spiritual knowledge of the mellow taste of his service. So this is from Adi Lila of Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 1, text 4. So this Unnato Jvala Rasa, or the condensed elevated mellows of devotional service, is the real hankering of the followers of Srila Rupa Goswami, who are known as Rupanugas. So what makes the followers of Srila Rupa Goswami unique? Srimati Radharani has unlimited sakis headed by Lalita and Vishaka Devi. These sakis are in the same age group as Srimati Radharani. Thus, they sometimes have direct dealings with Lord Krishna. These sakis facilitate the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. And sometimes Srimati Radharani arranges that her friends have direct union with Krishna. However, the direct maid servants of Srimati Radharani are the Manjaris. Manjari means bud, young, or very tender. The Manjaris are young and innocent girls. Their ages are not more than that of 13 years old. They are the exclusive maid servants of Srimati Radharani. The unique position of the Manjaris is that they're allowed to witness the intimate loving pastimes of Radha and Krishna in the inner chambers of the groves of Vrindavan and render personal service there to which the Sakis have no access. Thus they relish the unparalleled bliss of Bhakti Rasa. One of the principal Manjaris is Sri Rupa Manjari, who incarnated as Sri Rupa Goswami in Gaura Leela. Srila Narottam Das Thakur composed a very beautiful song in praise of the dust of the lotus feet of Sri Rupa Manjari. This song is in the Prarthana as follows: Sri Rupa Manjari Pada, Sei Mora Sampada, Sei Mora. Means following in the footsteps of Sri Rupa Goswami by meditating to become a maidservant of Srimati Radharani, the enchanter of Sri Krishna. Just as Sri Krishna captivates all the living entities by his energy and attractive qualities, similarly Srimati Radharani captivates Lord Krishna by her love and charming qualities. The goal of a devotee of Lord Chaitanya following in the footsteps of Srila Rupa Goswami is to become a maidservant of Srimati Radharani. Srimati Radharani's love for Krishna is so intense that Krishna is maddened by it and so accepts the form of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in order to understand and relish the love for himself. While relishing love of Krishna, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu reveals to the world the essence of Krishna Bhakti. He gave to the world what was never given before, love of Krishna, as practiced by the inhabitants of Vrindavan. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed the six Goswamis headed by Sri Rupa and Sri Sanatan to write volumes of devotional scriptures about the nature of this love of Krishna. The Goswamis carried out the instructions of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by writing volumes of devotional scriptures such as Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Ujvala Nilamani, Hari Bhakti Vilas, Lalita Madhav, Vidadha Madhav, Tattva and others. And of course, Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is the essence of all these writings presented by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. So Srila Narottam Das Thakur Mahashai was a disciple of Lokanath Goswami, actually his only disciple, and a principal who was the principal follower of Lord Chaitanya, one of the principal followers of Lord Chaitanya. Lokanath Goswami was ordered by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to go to Vrindavan to excavate lost places of Krishna's pastimes. And so he foretold the appearance of Narottam Das Thakur Das to Lokanath Goswami, saying that he would have a disciple who will manifest a unique style of kirtan that will captivate all human beings. So Srila Narottam Das Thakur studied along with Srinivasacharya and Shamananda Prabhu and the Srila Jiva Goswami. And thereafter, the famous trio were ordered to broadcast the writings of the Goswamis in Bengal. Being an empowered acharya who teaches according to time, place, and circumstance, Srila Narottam Das Thakur composed Prema Bhakti Chandrika in a simple style of Bengali language. Though the renditions of Sri Chaitanya's teachings are simple, the purport is deep. The teachings of Lord Chaitanya has thus been given in the form of Sri Prema Bhakti Chandrika. The Goswami's books that were difficult to understand by the common masses were thus made easily understandable by the teachings of Srila Narottam Das Thakur in this book. Actually, this was the most favorite book of Srila Gaur. And Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur instructed all his disciples to read Sri Prema Bhakti Chandrika every single day. And when Kishore Das Babaji was asked how to develop love of God, he said, it's very easy. Just go to the marketplace with very few coins and purchase two books, Prarthana and Sri Prema Bhakti Chandrika by Srila Narottam Das Thakur. Read them daily and you will develop love of Krishna. So if you want to develop Krishna Prema, this is the way. And we, I think, are very fortunate to have opportunity to read a little bit from this wonderful scripture. So there is one poem which is Srila Narottama Prabhu composed by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. I'll just read for you the first text and then translations of the other texts. Krishna Namamrita Varshivakra Chandra Brahvadvastatamo Baraya Garanga Devanucharaya Tasmai Namo Namah Srila Narottamaya. Again and again, I offer my obeisances unto Srila Narottam Das Thakur. He is indeed a true follower of Lord Gauranga Dev. From his lotus mouth showers the nectar of Sri Krishna's name, which emanates the wonderful effulgence that destroys all ignorance. Again and again, I offer my obeisances unto Srila Narottam Das Thakur. He smiles slightly, being absorbed in the bliss of chanting the holy names. His teeth illuminate all directions. Currents of ecstatic tears constantly bathe his face. Again and again, I offer my obeisances unto Srila Narottam Das Thakur. Just by hearing the sounds of mridanga, his feet begin dancing. This captures one's mind, giving such pleasure that one's hair stands on end. Again and again, I offer my obeisances unto Srila Narottam Das Thakur. His dancing is so beautiful that it conquers the pride of the Gandharvas and amazes the assembly of all expert dancers and singers. Srila Narottam Das Thakur has thus initiated his own style of singing and playing the mridanga called Manohara Sahi. Again and again, I offer my obeisances unto Srila Narottam Das Thakur. Sometimes in ecstasy, he falls unconscious to the ground. Thus, his effulgent body wears the dust as a decoration. Only by the greatest fortune may we the mind's sight. Wherever his nose flows, it will completely uproot the thirst for anything other than Krishna in all the people assembled there. His faith and steadiness of devotion is as strong as a rock. His touch transforms like the philosopher's stone. His words are as good as the word of the scriptures. Whenever pious people see him, they begin to think, is he an embodiment of devotion? Is he the incarnation of renunciation in this world? A person who is absorbed in the ocean of the pastimes of Sri Radha and Krishna should read these 8 prayers aloud, and by so doing, he will certainly reach the same abode obtained by Srila Narottam himself. By Srila Narottam's merciful glance, even such qualities as unlimited anger will be pacified. Let his beautiful limbs, the shine of his teeth, his lotus-like face, his slight smile, and his dancing be manifest in my heart. My request is that he bestows upon me his personal service. So Narottam Das Thakur is described as resembling the features of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. So he was extremely attractive personality, even physically. And so we begin reading Sri Prema Bhakti Chandrika, starting with Mangala Charana, a very familiar first text. Amagyanti virandasya gananana shalokaya chakshuran militam yena tasmai shri gurave namaha. Advaita prakati krito narahari prishta sarupa priya nityananda sakka sanatana gati shirupa kritkitana lakshmi napatir gadadhara rasavasi jaganathabi sangapastra sapar shada Sadayutam Deva Sachinandana. Lord Chaitanya has advented himself in response to the prayerful appeals of Advaita Acharya. He is very dear to Narahari and Swarup Damodar. He is the friend of Lord Nityananda, the shelter of Sanatana Goswami, and he resides eternally in the heart of Rupa Goswami. He is the Lord of Lakshmi, Lakshmi Priya, and the delight of Gadadhar. He is Lord Jagannath himself, accompanied by his eternal associates and weapons. He is the Lord of the devotees and the son of Mother Sachi. So this is the invocation made by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. And it's explained that, as we mentioned, Sri Prema Bhakti Chandrika means moon rays of loving devotion. The same way as confused traveler who lost his way in a dense forest filled with ferocious animals is clearly directed to his destination by a quickly rising moon. Similarly, the various pure processes of sadhana mentioned in this book are like the nectarian rays of the moon-like devotional service that clearly directs the conditioned souls who forgotten their real identity and fallen into this material world full of mundane desires to achieve the lotus feet of Radha Madhava. The treasure of the loving devotional service distributed by the most merciful incarnation of the Supreme Lord Sri Gaurasundar has never been bestowed before. To achieve this is the most essential to take shelter of bona fide spiritual master. For this reason, and also to complete this book without any obstacle, Sri Narottam Das Thakur offers his humble obeisances unto the lotus feet of his spiritual master. With extraordinary gratitude and humility, Srila Narottam Das Thakur is praying like an ordinary conditioned soul to his spiritual master, saying, I have fallen into the darkest ignorance. The word Agyan Timira means duplicious. The living entities who are averse to the Supreme Lord from time immemorial have forgotten their constitutional position as eternal servants of Krishna and have fallen under the clutches of Maya. The conditioned souls are absorbed in the bodily activities by nescience and are suffering unlimited material miseries. The more they forget the loving service of Lord Sri Krishna and endeavor for their own happiness, the more they become covered by the darkness of ignorance. All endeavors for personal happiness without the service of the Supreme Lord further cover the eternal constitutional position of the conditioned souls and are therefore known as cheating religions. The desire for dharma, religious activities, artha, economic development, kama, sense gratification, moksha, liberation, are all means for one's own happiness and hence are cheating religions. It is stated in Charitamrita Adi Lila. Ajnanatamera nama kaitava dharma artakama moksha vanchadisava. The darkness of ignorance is called kaitava, the way of cheating, which begins with religiosity, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation. Taramadi moksha vancha kaitava pradhan yahaite Krishna bhakti haya antardan. The foremost process of cheating is the desire to achieve liberation by merging into the Supreme. For this causes the permanent disappearance of loving service to Krishna. Krishna Bhakti Rabadhaka Yata Subha Subha Karma Sehayaka Jiveragya Tamo Dharma Jiveragyana Tamo Dharma. Both auspicious that are transcendental loving service to Lord Sri Krishna are actions in the darkness of ignorance. The word jnana in this verse indicates knowledge of absolute Lord Krishna. So this is very interesting that Narottam Das Thakur, he presents himself as the conditioned soul, and Srila Prabhupada admitted one time that his most favorite song or poem is Narottam Das Thakur's Ishtadevi Vigyapati, which starts in a very interesting way. He says, Hari Hari Bipale Janama Gonainu Manushya Janama Paya Radha Krishna Nabhajiya Janiya Shunya Bishakainu. He says that, oh my Lord Hari, I have wasted my life uselessly. I was born as a human being, but I never worshipped Radha and Krishna, and that's why I knowingly drank poison. So it's kind of suicide if someone is a human being but not worshipping the Lord. And of course, Narottam Das Thakur always been the pure devotee, but he speaks as a conditioned soul because the more pure the devotee is, the more one becomes humble. And then we understand that the top devotees, they see everyone else as devotee besides themselves. The only non-devotee they see is in the mirror, right? And neophyte devotees are quite opposite. They see themselves as the best devotees, but then they don't recognize others. So text number 2 is also very familiar to us. Shri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadam Mayam Dadati Swa Padantikam. When will Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, who has established within this material world the mission to fulfill the desire of Lord Chaitanya, give me shelter under his lotus feet? So, yeah, because we're all Rupanugas, followers of Rupa Goswami, he's praying to become his personal follower. Text number 3. Let's share this so that you will also be able to see the text. Yeah, can you all see? Akila Rasamrita Murti Prasrimara Ruchirudhataragapali Kalita Shamalalito Radha Prayan Vidurdayati. May Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, be glorified by virtue of his ever-expanding attractive features. He has subjugated the gopis named Tarak and Pali and absorbed the minds of Shyama and Lalita. He is the dearmost lover of Srimati Radharani and the reservoir of pleasure in all devotional mellows. And so Srila Prabhupada gave the explanation in 1960, before even coming to America, in Back to Godhead. Quite a long explanation. And basically, the idea is he explains how Krishna is the source of all the rasas, and the topmost rasas are the ones which he is exchanging with the gopis, right? So he explains the whole subject of rasa tattva in here. And so here we have the first chapter, which is called Sri Guru Mahima, and this is very familiar text. Sri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma Bandhamoin Sabadhana Mate Hara Prasadei Bhai Bhavatori Jai Krishna Prapti Hoi Jate. The lotus feet of the spiritual master are the abode of pure devotional service. I bow down to those lotus feet with great care and attention. My dear brother, my dear mind, it is through the grace of the spiritual master that we cross over the material existence and obtain Krishna. So yes, first, the whole devotional service starts with the mercy of Sri Guru, spiritual master. Sri Guru means spiritual master with all spiritual opulence. And so he can deliver the disciples from the grip of nations and takes them to the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. And so, yeah, Shri Guru Charana Padma do not only mean the lotus feet of the spiritual master, but the word Charana is used here for respect, that just as in Sridhar Swami Charana or Shri Goswami Charana, etc. The word Padma indicates that the spiritual master is the embodiment of love for Sri Krishna and full of transcendental sweetness. It's also understood that just as the lotus flower is relished by the bumblebees, similarly the sweet mercy of the spiritual master is relished by the devotees. Such a spiritual master is known as Kevala Bhakti Sadma, the only shelter of unalloyed devotional service. The words Kevala Bhakti refer to pure devotional service, devoid of fruitive activities, mental speculations, and material desires. The word Mui means I am. Due to the nature of pure devotional service, Srila Narottam Das Thakur has used the word Mui in order to express his humility. I offer my obeisances unto the lotus feet of the spiritual master, described both with great care and attention. Savadan, that's the word used in this poem. Savadan means with great care and attention. One should worship the spiritual master with great awe and reverence without the desire for material enjoyment. One should search for the servitorship of the spiritual master and Sri Krishna. Text number 2. Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chittate Karya Aikyarana Kariha Mane Asha Shri Guru Charane Rati Aise Uttamagati Jai Prasade Purisarva Asha. Make the teachings from the lotus mouth of the spiritual master one with your heart and do not desire anything else. Attachment to the lotus feet of the spiritual master is the best means of spiritual advancement. By his mercy, all desires for spiritual perfection are fulfilled. So, because spiritual master is the transparent via media between us and Krishna, so basically he's delivering Krishna's instructions to us, and that's why through the spiritual master we can develop our relationship with the Supreme Lord. And Uttamagati means topmost destination, highest destination. And the best destination or best achievement is Prema Seva, service in love. And Chittete Kariya Aikya is the same like Hribi Kari Maha Sakya. Whatever instructions the spiritual master gives to his disciples about their eternal constitutional relationship, as that of a manjari, should be keenly kept within their hearts. The word Sarva Asha indicates that one should be transcendentally greedy to achieve the loving service of Sri Radha Krishna, such as massaging their feet or offering them a chamara in a Vrindavan Nikunja, a grove decorated with jewels and pearls. With whomever the spiritual master is pleased, Sri Radha and Krishna are also pleased. Yasya Prasadat Bhagavat Prasada. By the mercy of the spiritual master, one can attain the mercy of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, only by the mercy of the spiritual master is the loving service to Sri Radha Krishna attained. So this is Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentaries on Narottam Das Thakur song. Akudan dilo jai janme janme brahmu sai divya gyan hride prakashita Prema Bhakti ja hoite avidya vinasya jate bheje gai jahara charita. He has given me the gift of transcendental vision is my Lord, birth after birth. By his mercy, divine knowledge is revealed within the heart, bestowing Prem Bhakti and destroying ignorance. The Vedic scriptures sing of his character. So Shri Krishna is my Lord and I am his eternal servant. This is what we forget, and then Maya influences us, and it's only spiritual master who can deliver us, and that's why Chakudandila Jay means that he opens our darkened eyes covered with nescience and our divine vision by which we can cross the ocean of material existence and become qualified to behold the higher spiritual reality. Divya Gyan is knowledge through which one can learn how to worship Krishna. It's understood that such knowledge can be revealed in one's heart only by the mercy of Sri Guru. So it's transcendental knowledge in the form of initiation into the teachings of Sri Krishna. This is confirmed in Hari Bhakti Vilas, Divya Gyanam Yadodadhyat Kuryat Papasya Sampusyat. Tasmat Diksheti Saprokta Deshikatat Kovida. When one is initiated into the knowledge of Krishna and his relationship with Krishna is revived, it is to be understood that he is educated in transcendental knowledge. The word Janme Janme Prabhu means that the spiritual master is able to remove the coverings of nescience of the living entities born in this material world. And he is also able to engage the living entities in the loving service of Sri Govinda, the transcendental covered boy of Braj Mandal, which is beyond the realm of Maya. Therefore, whether one is in the practicing stage or one is in the perfected stage, the spiritual master is always one's worshipable Lord. So very interesting that the name Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is using here is Sri Govinda, and we understand that there are three deities, Sri Govinda, Gopinath, Madan Mohan, but actually they are in charge of the three stages of devotional development. Madan Mohan is the Lord of Sambandha Jnana, Sri Govinda. Govinda Dev is the Lord of Abhideya, and Gopinath is the Lord of Prayojana. So Sambandha means theoretical understanding or relationship with Krishna. Govinda Dev is Prayojana means practical, serving, and Abhideya is practical service, and Prayojana is the attainment of the topmost goal, which is Krishna Prema. And because spiritual master is specifically provides practical guidance, right, to the disciples. So Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is using the name Sri Govinda, the transcendental covered boy of Brajamandal, which is beyond the realm of Maya. Therefore, whether one is in the practicing stage or is in the perfected stage, the spiritual master is always one's worshipable Lord. Yeah, because we are eternal, our Guru is also eternal, so we are serving under his guidance here in this world, and we will continue serving under his guidance in the spiritual world. Perhaps in the spiritual world, our spiritual master will not look like his looks now, and we will not be looking like we are looking now, because we are not the body. We'll have different appearance in the spiritual world. So the words Vedigai indicate that not only Narottam Das Thakur glorifies the spiritual master, but the Vedas and the supplementary Vedic scriptures also glorify the spiritual master. As stated by Lord Krishna to Uddhava in Srimad Bhagavatam, Acharya Mam Vijaniyat, one should consider the spiritual master as non-different from me. Also it is stated in the Vedas, Acharyavan Purusha Vida, that one who associates with the Acharya can become familiar with all the Vedic knowledge. And this is text 4. This is the last one we sing. Siguru Karuna Sindhu Adama Janara Bandhu Lokana Lokira Jiban Haha Prabhu Kaura Daya Dehamare Padachaya Evidas Kusutri Bhuvan. But this is not the last verse, though. There are more. O spiritual master, ocean of mercy and friend of all of the fallen souls, you are the teacher of everyone and the life of all people. O master, be merciful unto me and give me the shade of your lotus feet. May your glories now be proclaimed throughout the three worlds. So this is text 5, glorifying Vaishnavas, Sri Vaishnava Mahima. Vaishnava charanarenu bhushana kariyatanu jaha haite anubhava haya marjana haya bhajan sadhu sangyanukshan agyana avidya parajaye. One should decorate the body with the dust from the lotus feet of the Vaishnavas, because by this one can achieve transcendental realizations. By constantly associating with the devotees, one's cultivation of devotional service is purified, and one can conquer nescience. So the words Yaha Haite refer to the person who has decorated himself with the dust of the lotus feet of the devotees. Avidya in this case refers to the desires of four purposes of life: Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. So this is very interesting. After glorifying spiritual master and establishing his position, he is glorifying Vaishnavas. And this is very important, because it's only when we serve the spiritual master and become purified, then we start appreciating Vaishnavas, right? So spiritual master is a Vaishnava, naturally. And his role is to help us to appreciate other Vaishnavas, right? So because conditioned life, we only appreciate ourselves, right? Then we become a little bit more advanced. Okay, we understand, okay, there is God. Okay, I have to appreciate him at least, right? So then we get a little bit more mercy of the Supreme Lord. And then we kind of start to appreciate at least one Vaishnava. We see, okay, this is a very special person, so let me appreciate him. And then we, if we're lucky enough, we start serving that Vaishnava and accept him as a spiritual master. And by getting purified by his association, we can actually appreciate other Vaishnavas as well. We realize gradually that, yes, it's not just my guru, but I can learn a lot from different other Vaishnavas. And then text 6 is the glories of Sri Rupa and Sanatana Goswami. Jaya Sanatana Rupa Prema Bhakti Rasakupa Jugala Ujvala Rasatanu Jahara Prasade Loka Pasarila Dukha Soka. I think, oh yeah. Prakata Kalpa Tarvu Janu. All glories to Sri Rupa and Sanatana Goswamis, who are the reservoirs of loving devotional service, being the personifications of the highest transcendental mellows, directed towards Sri Radha Krishna. By their mercy, a desire tree has been generated in this world that can relieve the distress and lamentation of all people. So this is what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says. Although the chanting of the holy names of the Lord are included among the 64 limbs of devotional service, Still, in order to distinguish this limb from other limbs, Srila Narottam Das Thakur has again mentioned Sankirtan. Similarly, he has glorified the characteristics of the Vaishnavas with the phrase Vaishnava Charana Renu. Yet, in order to specifically glorify the Goswamis, he says Jai Sanatana Rupa, etc. The phrase Vaishnava Charana Renu generally includes all the Vaishnavas, such as Sakya Vaishnavas, Vatsali Vaishnavas, etc. Principally, these are 5 relationships in devotional service: Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Ujjvala, or Madhurya. The quality of Shanta Rasa is to be fixed in Krishna. Dasya Rasa is to serve the Lord. Sakya Rasa is association with the Lord without any fear or hesitation in a mood of equality. Vatsalya Rasa is parental affection. Ujjvala Rasa is conjugal mellows. And the qualities of each rasa are included in the next rasa. It is to be understood that each rasa is gradually superior to the previous. In Ujjvala Rasa, there are 5 qualities, therefore, it is the highest rasa. Among the associates of Ujjvala Rasa, only those who are situated in the group of Srimati Radhika relish the highest and parallel sweetness of Sri Radha Madan Mohan. Yet among them, only the maidservants of Srimati Radharani are able to relish the topmost and wonderful sweetness of their lordships. Many Sakis cannot see the most confidential pastimes of Sri Radha Madhava, but their maidservants of Srimati Radharani are able to bathe in the waters of matchless sweet transcendental mellows. These maidservants are called manjaris, unblossomed buds of the desire creeper in the form of Sri Radhika. The symptoms of enjoyment found on the limbs of Sri Radhika are also manifested on the limbs of the manjaris. The maidservants of Srimati Radharani, Sri Rupa Manjari and Sri Lavanga Manjari are none other than Sri Rupa Goswami and Sri Sanatana Goswami. Both are the topmost relishers of Ujjvala Rasa or Madhurya Rasa. Therefore, Sri Narottam Das Thakur has described them as Ujjvala Rasa Tanu, the personification of Ujjvala Rasa. So this is very important because by the mercy of the Guru, we start appreciating and valuing all the Vaishnavas, and then by getting their mercy, we achieve the association of the topmost Vaishnavas, right? Who are Sri Rupa and Sri Sanatana Goswami. So we're very fortunate because these personalities are in charge of the Gaudiya Vaishnava teachings. Sri Sanatana Goswami is explaining all the theoretical part, and Sri Rupa Goswami is explaining all the application of this knowledge, practical application. Sri Narottam Das Thakur has not described Sri Rupa and Sri Sanatana as the ocean of loving devotional mellows, because rather he has described them as the well of loving devotional mellows. The reason being that the water of the ocean is mixed with the waters of various rivers. However, the water of the well is not. Similarly, the loving devotional service preached by Sri Rupa and Sri Sanatana is not mixed with the rivers in the form of jnana and yoga. This loving devotional service is original and pure. So, yeah, the water of the ocean is salty, right? But water of the well is really nice and sweet. And Srila Narottam Das Thakur has used well instead of ocean. And another reason is that the thirsty person cannot quench his thirst and be cooled by drinking the water of a river or pond in the summer. The water of the well remains very cool, however. Therefore, the well of devotional service is able to cool a thirsty person, whereas jnana and yoga are not able to extinguish the fire of lamentation and illusion of the living entities in this age of Kali, who are afflicted by the threefold miseries of material nature. The processes of jnana and yoga cannot fully destroy lamentation and distress. So it's very interesting, right? Better to have less but better quality rather than a lot of inferior quality, right? So better to have less water in the well, but the best quality water rather than tons of water from river or ocean. But so devotional service alone is able to completely destroy the fire of material lamentation and misery of the living entities situated in the kingdom of Maya, thereby helping them to relish the sweet mellows of Sri Radha Krishna. Sri Rupa and Sri Sanatan are the shelter of these cooling, sweet, loving devotional mellows. Hence they are addressed as Rasa Kupa. That is why even today many living entities are forgetting their lamentation and misery by drinking from the well of mellows in the form of devotional scriptures composed by Sri Rupa and Sri Sanatan Goswamis, and are being satisfied by relishing those devotional mellows. Srila Narottam Das Thakur has addressed Sri Rupa and Sri Sanatan as the personifications of these desired trees of devotional service. Therefore, it is most auspicious to take shelter of their lotus feet. So let's see if everyone is still with us. If there are any questions anyone has so far. Is it easy, difficult to understand? Any feedback? Any comments?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. I think it is not very difficult to understand, but it is difficult to internalize, I think, and putting them into practice.
Yeah.
I think I have heard, obviously similar philosophies are there everywhere, including Bhagavad Gita, but I think here is just more rasa is here, and this rasa is something that I think that is obviously we have to inculcate this rasa, and this is something I think at least for me, it will take some time and effort. Just a comment.
Yes. Well, rasa is not very difficult because we all have rasas, we all have relationships, right? We have people who are serving us, for example, at your workplace. If you're a boss, you have some people under you, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe little children, you tell them what to do, what not to do, right? They're also subservient to the parents. So you have this rasa. And you have your friends, you have your you have superiors, you serve someone.
Yeah.
And you have your family. So all these rasas are there, but they are only reflections of the spiritual rasas. And actually, we are meant to develop the same relationship with the Supreme Lord.
Yes, I think that my main question is, so for example, Bhagavad Gita, at least my understanding, it's in Srila Prabhupada's purport, he's always mentioned Krishna as a friend of Arjuna. So the whole thing is in the mood of a Sakya Rasa, I think.
Yes.
Now the question is, how do I know which rasa is more suitable for a person like me?
Well, as it is described here, these 5 rasas, main rasas, they are like 5 stages of devotional development, and each higher rasa is including the qualities of the lower rasas. The bottom one is Shanta rasa, which means admiration or appreciation. Means you don't do anything, you just, kind of admire Krishna. You just appreciate Krishna. but no service. So if you become a little bit more advanced, then rather than just appreciating, you want to do something for Krishna, right? That's Dasya Rasa. Once you develop your relationship through service, you develop friendly relationship as well. So that's Sakya, right?
Yeah.
It's also described in the 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, where it is explained that brahmachari, by serving his spiritual master, can develop the mood of friendship with the spiritual master. So even with Guru, you start with Dasya, but then if you advance, you can go to the level of Sakya, right?
Okay.
It's respectful, but it's also already friendship. So it's higher, right? And so, but then the Vatsalya is even higher than Sakya, right? Because Sakya means depending on each other, but Vatsalya means, like being higher than the person.
Okay.
So yeah, in devotional development, there is a possibility that Prabhupada was saying that what is this nonsense? Mayavadis, they want to be God. Devotees can become more than God. Devotees can become higher than God. And
So in a material life, one can only establish one type of rasa, right? Cannot move from one to the other, or can we?
no, it is possible. Why not? Because as we said, with the guru, through the service, you can develop friendship. And even in the material life, sometimes you serve your boss, but then if you gain his trust, then you develop more friendly relation, right?
Yeah.
And then maybe your boss will say, okay, you become the boss, and I'll be helping you, right? You can even become higher than your boss. So it's possible even in the material life. But again, these material rasas are temporary and they are very frustrating, right? For example, like the family relations, right? Like man and woman, they meet each other. Man is thinking, oh, this woman is like Radharani, I am Krishna, she is Radharani, right?
Yeah.
And woman is thinking the same, I am Radharani, this is my Krishna. But then they start living together, they realize the truth that it's been a little bit exaggerated, right? Like that. So this is Maya. Because we're looking for these rasas, but these rasas are not really there in this world. It's only a perverted reflection that, whatever rasas are there, they're not really satisfying because it's kind of shallow and you can reach the bottom of it pretty quickly. And so that's why, in the material world, people are always changing their rasas, right? They try to establish one relationship, they become frustrated, they move on to the other one, like, people get together and then, in marital relationship, but then become frustrated and they drop it. It ends in divorce and then they move on to something else because they become disillusioned, become dissatisfied because material life means it's just perverted reflection, right? But devotional service means develop those relationships with Krishna. And then Krishna, as Prabhupada says, if Krishna is your son, he will never, betray you, or he will never give you up. You can see how wonderful, what kind of wonderful son is Krishna, right? So, or if Krishna is your friend, he is the most reliable, and if Krishna is your lover, he will always be perfect, etc.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. So anyone else has any other questions? So we can understand that this rasa tattva is not something just, as Prabhupada would say, occult or esoteric. It's something very practical and very important for us to understand this rasa tattva. And so we can, let's see, read. Actually, this song has 10 texts. Yeah. So we finished with text 6. Shall we read a little more? How is everyone feeling?
Yes, Maharaj, yeah, we can read low.
Okay. Prema Bhakti Riti Jata Nija Grante Subikata Karya Chendui Mahashai Jahara Shavana Haite Parananda Hoya Chitte Jugala Madura Rasashai. The various characteristics of loving devotional service have been elaborately described by these two great personalities in their books. One who hears these descriptions feels transcendental happiness in his heart and takes shelter of this sweet divine couple. So that's ideally, right? We should, when we read these books, Nectar of Devotion, Nectar of Instruction, etc., we should feel transcendental happiness in our heart and take shelter of Radha Krishna. So the process of attaining loving devotional service and the process practiced by the pure devotees who have already attained loving devotional service are correctly and elaborately described by Sri Rupa Goswami and Sri Sanatana Goswamis in their books such as Bhakti Rasayana Sagar Swami, Lamani, Lalita Madhava, Vidadha Madhava, Dhanakeli Kaumudi, Stavamala, and Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita. By hearing and reciting these scriptures, the hearts of the devotees are merged in the ocean of loving ecstasy under the shelter of the sweet mellows of Shri Radha Madhava. Interesting that the name Radha Madhav is used a lot because everybody knows the meaning of the name Madhav. This is the little quiz in the beginning, in the midst of reading. Anyone knows the meaning of the name Madhav? No. Nobody knows. Someone even has the Radha Madhav as your profile, Vivek, Anjali. So yes, you know the meaning of the word Madhav, of the name Madhav.
I think it's all pleasure giving.
Well, not exactly. Madhava means husband of the goddess
Yeah.
of fortune.
Yes, yes.
So because Radharani is the original goddess of fortune, so Madhav means the husband of goddess of fortune. So Radha Madhava are the source of great transcendental opulence and we can see Mayapur, right? A lot of transcendental is manifested in that place because the presiding deities are Radha Madhava. I mean, presiding deities, Mahaprabhu, Anga, right? He's the golden Lord. So he's the personified treasure. And so he manifests, he expands himself into Radha Madhav, right? Sri Rupa and Sri Sanatana Goswamis are directly under the shelter of Srimati Radharani. Hence, Srila Narottam Das Thakur has addressed Sri Rupa and Sri Sanatana Goswami as Mahashai, or great personalities. It is stated elsewhere in this book, Radhike Charana Shraya Ye Kare Se Mahashaya. This means that whoever takes shelter of the lotus feet of Sri Radhika is a great personality. Text number 8. Yugala Kishora Akshama Jima Hinadhana Praka Shila Chandra Jaya Rupa Sanatan Deha More Seidhan Seiratana Mora Hara. The loving affairs, young divine couple, refined gold. O Sri Rupa Sanatan, you have offered this treasure to me, and I will wear these jewels of love as a garland around my neck. The word Lakshavan refers to gold which is thoroughly refined, being without a tinge of any impurities. Such gold shines brightly. In the same way, the loving dealings of Sri Sri Radha Krishna are most pure, without a tinge of selfishness. All glories to Sri Rupa and Sri Sanatana Goswamis, who have, out of compassion, revealed this treasure of sweet love of Sri Sri Radha Krishna to the world through their writings. O most merciful Sri Rupa and Sanatana Goswamis, please bestow the treasure of this love and be glorified with the most munificent. Please put a garland made from the jewels of Prema around my neck. So that's the prayer. So this is the greatest treasure, Radha and Krishna. Actually, this is what we chant every day, right? Because Hare Krishna means Radha Krishna. So we are trying to establish relationship with them. And that's the purpose of chanting japa or chanting kirtan. So text 9 is Shuddha Bhakti Tattva, truth about pure devotional service. Bhagavata Shastra Marma Nava Bitha Bhakti Dharma Sadaye Kariba Suseban Anya Deva Shayanai Tamare Kahila Bhai Ei Bhakti Parama Karan. Actually, I should be asking original Bengalis to chant this verse anyway. The 9 processes of devotional service are the essence of Bhagavan, oh brother, the best method of attaining loving devotional service, always in performing these 9 limbs of devotional service without taking shelter of the demigods. Oh my dear brother, mind, do not take shelter of any demigod such as Lord Brahma or Lord Shiva, but take shelter of Lord Krishna without deviation and engage in the 9 types of devotional service. So text number 10, this is the last one. We have Bengalis in the group, right? Someone wants to read the text?
Yeah. Sadhu Shastra Guru Bhakko Hridaye Koriya Oikka Shatator Bhashipo Prema Maje Kormi Gyani Bhakti Hina Ihake Koribe Bhina Narottama Ei Tattva Gaye.
Gaje, right? Okay.
Yeah. Gaye. It's actually pronounced Gaye, means it's singing.
Singing, yeah. Yeah, I was thinking that all Bengalis should be very proud of their great heritage. because the greatest spiritual tradition comes from Bengal. My desire is to have my heart purified by the statements of the Vaishnava scriptures and spiritual masters, and seeing the unity of these three, I will always float in the ocean of love of God. I will be aloof from the bad association of the fruity workers, mental speculators, and the people devoid of devotional service. I, Narottam Das, seeing this truth. So, yeah. Actually, sometimes we read Shastra, for example, Prabhupada's books, which are pure Shastra as it is. And then sometimes we have mistaken idea that we read these texts for some knowledge. Knowledge is there, no doubt, but this is not the primary purpose. Because, you know, this is transcendental knowledge, how much with our intelligence. So we are very limited in terms of understanding. How many of you had experience that you read the same text from Gita, Bhagavatam, Gita, and Charitamrita, and then you read once, you understand on one level, but then you read another time, and then you have completely different understanding, much deeper understanding. Anyone had this experience? I hope you did.
Yes, Maharaj.
Yes, Maharaj.
Yes, and so because this is transcendental literature, it's not really for figuring things out. We are reading, for example, Prabhupada's books, and the primary purpose is association with Srila Prabhupada. The best of me is in my books. And so Guru, Sadhu, Shastra, they are together, and actually, yeah, Prabhupada's books are both presenting Guru and Shastra, right? Because Shastra is presented in the texts, and Guru and the whole Guru Parampara is in the purports. And by this, we can actually develop appreciation for devotees, for sadhus as well. So purification of the heart this is the primary reason why we are studying Shastra, right? Not just for the sake of some knowledge. And then once our heart is pure, then we can float in the ocean of love of God, as Narottam Das Thakur says. And naturally, then we will lose desire for all bad association, because we will become free from material desires. And so we will not have no interest to associate with those who have desires. Hare Krishna. So, any comments?
Hare Krishna. So, Maharaj, this is a question I even when there is this verse in Bhagavad Gita, which is similar to the verse before this. We go back a little bit, the previous one talks about demigods. So,
yeah.
Demigods are the devotees of the Lord, and we are saying that serving the devotees, das and das and das. So why can't we serve the demigods? So it will serve, it's automatically serving the Lord.
Yes, serving demigods is fine, but if we try to get some material benefits from demigods, because mostly this is why people worship demigods, right? To get material benefits.
Right. Okay.
And we can see who were the demigod worshippers in Bhagavatam. For example, was worshipping Lord Brahma, and Ravan, he was worshipping Lord Shiva, right?
Yeah.
So that was their bhakti, right?
Okay.
This example of Brikasur in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, that is one of the last chapters in the 10th canto, the deliverance of Lord Shiva, how this demon was worshipping Lord Shiva and he wanted the blessing from Lord Shiva. And what completely stupid blessing. And for this, he was ready to kill himself, right? The guy was so determined. And this is amazing how determined demons can be. But for completely wrong reason, they are ready to sacrifice themselves, right? For their own false ego. That he was doing this yagya and trying to please Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva knew that this guy, is really rotten. He didn't want to come to his stairs because he knew that his stairs is completely stupid. But then this guy was Brikasura was so determined that he saw that Lord Shiva is not coming, and to force Lord Shiva to come, he started cutting pieces of his own flesh and throwing them into the fire. And Lord Shiva was horrified, but still he was, he didn't want to come. But then he decided to cut his own head and throw it into the fire, right? And then Lord Shiva could not take it any longer because Lord Shiva is very compassionate. As a Vaishnava, he thought, okay, let me calm down and, stop him from doing this nonsense. He said, okay, what do you want? And what was the benediction he wanted? To be able to shatter anyone's head in one touch, right? And then Lord Shiva gave him the benediction. And what was the next thing? He wanted to shatter Lord Shiva's head, right? And then Lord Shiva had to flee. So that's, that these are the examples of what is counterproductive in our spiritual life, that worshipping demigods, because demigod worship means that we want material desires, right? You can see Hiranyakashipu, he worshipped Lord Brahma to become powerful, and once he became powerful, he basically screwed up the entire universe, right? And Lord Brahma was horrified. So, this is very kind of selfish thing, demigod worship, right, for material desires. But and they are very happy if we engage in devotional service. And yes, we can take the blessings for serving Krishna. We can see that, for example, gopis, they were serving Katyayani. Normally, this is done by unmarried girls to obtain nice husbands, but they were not doing that for getting material husbands. They were all doing this vrata to have Krishna as their husband. So they wanted blessings of Katyayani to obtain Krishna. So that's the example Brajavasis gopis are showing. And in Vrindavan, when you come to Vrindavan, the first temple you go to traditionally is Gopeshwar Mahadev temple, right? And Gopeshwar Mahadev is Lord Shiva, who is giving blessings to everyone in Vrindavan to attain Krishna. So, and yes, everyone comes with their offerings and they bathe Gopeshwar Mahadev and pray to him, but they are not praying for anything material. They only pray for devotion to Krishna. So yeah, when Shastra speaks about demigod worship, it speaks about, you know, worship which is meant to fulfill material desires, which is devoid of Krishna Bhakti. Yes?
Yeah. Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So, anything else? Everyone else is pretty happy. Seems to be. Was that interesting or too philosophical?
It is very good.
It was nice. It was nice to hear, Maharaj.
Yeah.
It's good to try to understand. Yeah, as in it's quite deep.
Oh, very deep, yes.
Very deep.
So it's very it's nice to hear. Nice to try to understand as well. Probably gonna have to try and reread it a bit as well.
Yeah. So the question is, next time with Prema Chandrika, or you want something else?
I think we can continue with that actually.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah, it's kind of different taste, but it's something which is important, right? That Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati wanted all the devotees to read it every day, so it's pretty tall order. All right, so I think we can finish for tonight. Thank you all very much for your kind participation. And I can't remember. We haven't.
No, we haven't scheduled more classes, but they'll be next week, Maharaj.
Okay, all right. So we'll see you
Maharaj,
sometime next week. Yes.
this book was the very favorite book of Bhaktisiddhanta.
Yes, he told his disciples they should read it every day.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
Well, we sing it every day. Sing at least 4 verses from this book every day. And actually, next chapter is really powerful. It's called Ekanta Bhakti, fixed devotional service. So if anyone wants to figure out how to be fixed in Krishna consciousness forever, then this is what we can.
I mean, there are so many, you know, nectarian, I guess, books. You know, I'm wondering what was the special quality about this particular book that made it his favorite above, you know, there's so many special books out there, you know.
Yes, well, because this book is first of all written by Narottam Das Thakur, who is very, very special devotee. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he told when he came to the river Padma, he was chanting Narottam, Narottam, and everyone was confused. What is, you know, like, whom he is glorifying. And then he explained that in future, after he will leave this world, in future here will appear a great Vaishnava who will continue my mission. And for him, I will put pure Krishna Prema into this river Padma. And so he said, Narottam, when he will come and bathe in this river, he will get pure Krishna Prema. Anyway, he was exceptional Vaishnava and very influential. And this was one of the 2 most important books he wrote. Well, one of the 2 most important verse compilations he made. into the book Prema Bhakti Chandrika. And it's very, very powerful. It describes the entire process of devotional service.
And Bhakti Siddhanta, he preferred this book over Prarthana?
Well, I mean, they are kind of on equal footing because we chant songs from both of them. Yeah, because they're kind of both practically equal. But Prema Bhakti Chandrika Prarthana is we can say a little bit more random, and Prema Bhakti Chandrika is more systematic. Yeah.
Prarthana is more random, you said, right?
Yes.
Oh.
But this is like from A to Z, a really powerful book, Prema Bhakti Chandrika.
This is more systematic in what way?
More systematic because it describes the entire process of devotional service. What to do, what not to do, how to do, even how to become free from all the problems in different ways. Many. Yeah.
Okay.
How to defeat all the enemies of Krishna consciousness, means internal enemies, right? Not just external enemies, because there are no enemies outside. All the enemies are internal enemies. Lust, anger, greed, envy, pride, illusion. So it's all described in here.
Okay,
Right.
thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. So thank you all. We'll meet again. Please stay safe and stay happy in Krishna consciousness.
Yes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. We'll see you sometime next week.
Yeah.
Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
Hi.
Shri Narottam Das Thakur ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande.
Hari Hari Bol.